Yo, what up, YouTube? I want to talk real quick about the draft and why my man Bol Bol went so late in the draft. Now, I'm sitting here last night watching the draft, and I mean, the picks are just going. You know what I mean? It's getting down in the 20s, in the late 20s, in the 30s, and my man Bol Bol is still sitting. And I'm wondering, like what's going on? Because, I had Bol Bol projected pretty high, man. I feel like he was a justifiable pick anywhere from the third or fourth pick down. He would have been a great pick. And I'm not trying to say the teams that took Jared Culver and DeAndre Hunter, I'm not trying to necessarily say that they're mistaken because these guys are great players. But the thing is this, none of them are 7'2", right? And height is something that you cannot train, is something that you cannot purchase. You either have it or you don't. And not only is Bol Bol 7'2", he shoots the three-pointer, he drives to the basket, he has great touch around the basket, and he blocks shots, right? So this gives him a very unique skill set and one that you can't get later in the draft, right? Now, if you're talking about a wing player that's 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", right? I mean, the draft is loaded with this type of player. You can get this type of player with the 25th, 26th, 27th pick, So with an early pick, I would have definitely taken Bol Bol and secured that length. You know what I mean? That shot blocking, that the wing skills, all of this potential. I just could not see myself passing it up as a GM. But these guys, they just kept passing on them, So I said, man, let me go online and see if I could see if there's a reason. So I found something that said that a lot of teams were concerned about the foot injury that he sustained as a freshman last year playing for Oregon, right? And that I can understand. But by the same token, we're talking about a very young man in the age of modern medicine, right? Like this foot, I'm banking on it healing, okay? And let's say his health becomes a project and he has to miss an entire season, maybe 2 seasons. Well, hell, he only played 1 year in college. He still has a 10, 12-year career ahead of him, barring further injury. So once again, this is a gamble that I'm willing to take as a GM, right? This foot injury is not going to hold me back from putting what is possibly the next Kristaps Porzingis or Anthony Davis type of player on the floor, right? I'm taking my chances with that. So I read a little bit further and they say, well, teams were concerned about his desire. And I'm thinking to myself, well, Bol Bol is the son of a former NBA player. So he probably grew up with with a little bit of money. His life hasn't been as challenging as some others. And maybe he's just a laid back guy. You know what I mean? But there's no way in hell that I'm going to believe that a kid that's been playing basketball his whole life doesn't want to be good at it. The son of a former NBA player. I first got wind of Bol Bol. He was only 15 years old, and he looked like he was 7 feet tall then. And I had just never seen a player that tall and that young with wing skills like that, right? A guy who could run the floor, a guy who could shoot the J. I'm like, man, when he gets of age, you know what I'm saying? He's going to be a monster. Well, he's of age, and the potential is still there, to be a monster, right? A guy that can take over games on the defensive end, right? So I'm thinking to myself, man, these reasons, are not good enough for me if I'm a GM to pass up on a unique talent like this, right? So I read a little bit further, and they say, well, he came into workouts weighing only 208 pounds, and he had dropped 30 pounds since the injury. Well, dude, once again, weight is something that you can put back on, right? Height is the thing that you can't manipulate, but weight is something that you can put back on. He can gain 30 pounds again, okay? And like I said, supposing his health is a project and it takes an entire season that he has to miss to be healthy and 100%. Well, hey man, listen, it's worth it for me to gain a guy of that skill set for the next decade, okay? So, I go back to watching the draft, and eventually, with the 45th pick, the Nuggets, they take Bol via a trade, right? And at first, I'm like, that. Now that somebody has finally taken him, that pick doesn't make any sense to me because Denver is not lacking in talent at the center position. They have one of the best 2 or 3 big men in the league with Nikola Jokic, right? Highly skilled passer, triple-double machine. But then I thought about it again. On the defensive end, man, if you can manage to get Bol Bol and Nikola Jokic on the floor together, right? Twin Tower effect, like Ralph Sampson and Hakeem Olajuwon. Man, how are teams going to score, right? With the Bol Bol pick, Denver may have punched its ticket to the Western Conference Finals right there because they're going to be very formidable on defense if they get these two guys on the floor together. I mean, it's going to be hard to score against all that length. It's going to be hard to score, right? And Denver has no shortage of offense. So Denver's going to be a real problem, and it's a great pickup for them. And you other GMs, I think, man, you're going to be dealing with a lot of regret as the career of Bol Bol starts to unfold, right? The guy is a very humble kid and very popular, too. I mean, last night, the place had almost cleared out by the time they picked him, and the crowd that was left gave him a standing ovation. And then, after the draft, I'm on social media, Twitter, YouTube. All of the fans that's commenting are cussing their team out. Like, man, we could have had Bol Bol. Why did you pass on Bol Bol? Like, it seems like everybody that watches basketball, except for the GMs, realize the potential that Bol Bol has. And in addition to that, like I said, this is a very fan-friendly young man, right? He can do more for you than just what he can do on the court. You know what I mean? Like, people want to see this guy perform. And some of it is the freak show effect because he's so tall and he's an odd-looking guy. But hey, I'll take it, man. As long as he's getting the job done on the court and he's putting behinds in the seats. You know what I mean? That's a GM's job, right? To win games and put behinds in the seats. And Bol Bol, he goes a long way toward helping you toward that goal, man. People want to see this guy play. So listen, man, that's my thought and feeling. And I want you to like, share, get in the comment box, and let me know your opinion. This is the Mind Spray. I want to say peace to you and your family. Peace.